Hi, I'm Dennis Hansen. This is my Chevy C1500. So I've been going through this steering system on this truck, and I wound up putting in a new power steering pump, put in a new, they call it a rag joint. It's a coupling. It goes between the power steering gearbox and the column for the steering wheel, and a new power steering gearbox. Alright, so here's my old gearbox. So I think it's a Saginaw. That's what they used to put in these trucks back in the day. And oh yeah, I also replaced the pitman arm. There's the old power steering pump. They're pretty crusty, so it was due. This new power steering gearbox is a Detroit axle, and it seems to be alright. I got it on Amazon. It's about $200. New pitman arm, you can see here. So the install on these things is not the easiest thing, and I can make a half-hour video on how to do it, and I think you just kind of got to take it in small steps. Here's the new coupling, and I got this on Amazon too. And my old one was pretty worn out. So if you're going to do this, you might as well do it right, and replace that part too. All right. So what I found when I got all this apart, you pull the pitman arm, and you're going to have to separate it from this control arm here. Take this castle nut off, get a two jaw puller and separate those two. And I actually had to do a lot of work. Here's your idle arm control, idle arm, and I had to loosen that. Had to break it loose from the control arm. The inner tie rod, I had to take that apart, separate that from the control arm, and also this other one over here, this inner tie rod. So both of them had to go apart. And the reason for that is that if you've ever done plumbing, you kind of have to take everything, you have to take it in steps, put everything together, kind of, you don't tighten it down, and then you gradually piece it all together, and then you come back and snug it. And that's what you got to do with this too. And I wound up, because otherwise you're going to struggle to get that pitman arm back in that control arm. So you want to do that. So my steering upgrade seems to be working out right. I had to replace the gearbox because I couldn't keep seals in it. Every time I had to try to bleed the system, it blew the seal. And so I kind of went back, greased up my ball joints real well, make sure there's no binding or it wasn't dragging too much. We'll say that it's not cheap. The gearbox, power steering gearbox is like $200. The power steering pump, hoses, and couplings, that's probably another $150 to get it on the cheap. You can spend a lot more money than that, but I didn't. I will say the truck is so much quieter since I've done these. Replace these parts. Basically get the screechy. I thought it was the power steering pump, and probably was part of that, but also the gearbox. I think that was squawking too. Alright, so this one was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. Started out just, the screechy problem with the power steering pump, which leads to and my power steering gearbox. was blowing seals. So, you know, that kind of tells me that I got a little bit of drag in those ball joints. But for right now, everything seems to be working, and I'm happy about that. One thing about these is that one thing leads to another, and you think, oh, just going to do the power steering pump. And it leads to a lot more, and so just kind of be aware of that, and you kind of got to take it in small steps, and you can get there. But it's good enough for now. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.